Okay, welcome back. No Quarter Given podcast. I'm Jason along with Paul and Peter. We are going to get into week one at Minnesota before we get, and then we're going to wrap up the podcast with a montage by Paul Stewart about the Minnesota Buccaneer rivalry. And then we're going to pick the division winners for you all around the league. So give you a little, you guys that like to bet future bets and team totals and all that stuff, we're going to help you on that front. So, all right, guys, let's get to at Minnesota week one. TJ Reeves, Gene Deckerhoff, Dave Moore on the call for Buccaneer Radio. CBS Sports is covering the game for CBS. I think it's Catalan. The debut of Matt Ryan and Tiki Barber on the call on the TV side of things. So you're going to get some a little bit of Buccaneer connection with Tiki and Rondé. And first of all, let's congratulate Rondé Barber, obviously, for the Hall of Fame induction. Paul Stewart, I know you're a big fan of Rondé. Give me your thoughts on Rondé heading into the Hall of Fame.
I was so pleased for him. I really didn't think he would get there. I thought, people would have forgotten what he achieved. It's fantastic for the Buccaneers. And on the Monday night game against the Eagles, they're going to put that star up next to his name on the Ring of Honor to show he's in the Hall of Fame, along with all these other great Buccaneer players from the Super Bowl run.
Peter?
Yeah, I mean, why did it take so long? Why did it take? I get it. There's talented players, but none more than Mr. Rondé Barber with playing the nickel position, revolutionizing that position in general, what he meant to that Buccaneer defense. He was such an important cog to it. And then on top of it, one of the greatest Tampa Bay sports plays of all time, 92 yards to close down the vet. It never gets old to this day, gentlemen. I love it. I love talking about it. Congratulations to a true professional, Rondé Barber.
I'd say I did a countdown of the top 100 plays in Buccaneer history last year on buckpower.com, and that was the number one play. And what the funny story about it is, I was supposed to be calling that game for British television, but I was so convinced the Bucs were going to lose to the Eagles, I did not want to be live on TV doing it. And then, of course, the Bucs won, and they phoned me trying to talk live on air, and I was crying my eyes out because I was so happy because I knew I was going to be going to San Diego to see the Bucs in the Super Bowl. Rondé Barber, great man, greatest play in team history, now has a gold jacket as well.
So I know Paul Stewart's doing a top 100 Buccaneer countdown of all time, and you don't have to give it away, but is Rondé Barber in the top 15?
I think it's pretty safe to say he's in the top 10.
Okay. All right. You don't
You'll
have to tell us where. I think Paul's countdown somewhere around the 20s, low 20s right now. He's going to be counting them down. So you will see where Rondé ends up here in a not too distant future. So check it out, buckpower.com, top 100 Buccaneers of all time. So, all right, let's get to Minnesota. Obviously, year two of Kevin O'Connell. You got Kirk Cousins. You got Justin Jefferson. A lot of defensive issues in Minnesota last year. They got rid of the defensive coordinator, brought in Brian Flores, the former Dolphins coach, to be the defensive coordinator. So this is an opportunity, in my view, that the Bucs could score some points in this game. I think new offense, an offense that the league doesn't really know about. First time Dave Canales is calling plays. New quarterback in Baker Mayfield. Just give me your initial thoughts, Peter Blake, of week one at Minnesota.
I mean, for me, you got an opportunity to score some points, and you got to do it soon. You got to do it early and often to take that crowd out of it, because it is such a hostile environment, if you will. So I feel like if they can come out strong, run the ball, have balance to that offense, and take some deep shots down the field, that Minnesota defense is very susceptible. And do it early and often, because if you do it early, once again, you take that crowd out of it.
And as we said, we went into Minnesota in 2005 to open the season as underdogs, and Cadillac Williams announced himself to the world with a 71-yard touchdown run to clinch the game, and the Bucs started that season 4-0. Maybe we might not do that this year, but it'll be a good omen if we can go and start the season with a win in Minnesota.
Yeah, and I think if you're the Buccaneers, the defense should be good. I mean, so you shouldn't be giving up 30 points to Minnesota. I know, and again, to me, the key if you're the Buccaneers this whole week of preparation, make somebody else other than Justin Jefferson beat you. Remember, no Dalvin Cook. Hawkinson just signed it, so he's a weapon, but their number 2 and number 3 receivers are okay. No more Thielen, so don't let Justin Jefferson go for a buck 50 and 10 catches. Make somebody else beat you. Again, the running game, we don't know what their running game is going to be with Alex Madison taking over Dalvin Cook. Again, Buccaneer defensively, they should be in a position that we got a really good back secondary. So all those Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean, figure out a way to contain Justin Jefferson and make somebody else beat you if you're the Buccaneer defense.
And cause some
I'll
turnovers.
take Chase McLaughlin to kick a field goal to win it in the last minute for the Bucks.
There you
Bucks
go.
to win on a field goal.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. Again, I'll go back to it. You know, the defense, they didn't cause a lot of turnovers last year. This is the time to do that. Carlton Davis was talking about this a couple of months ago, how they're going to wreck this and wreck that, cause turnovers. You know, put your money where your mouth is. You're a top 10 corner. You're a top 5 corner. It's time to shut down one of the youngest, best wide receivers in the league in Jefferson. I think he can do it, and I think this Bucs team can definitely cause some havoc to Kirk Cousins and maybe cause some turnovers here. So I like the Bucs in this game. And I like the 2005 reference. Remember Michael Clayton leading the way there on that block to spring Cadillac Williams for that 71-yarder, of course, being a rookie. You know, maybe the Bucs can have some magic there in the later in that fourth quarter. I think it's a close game, but I think the Bucs also win that.
I think the Bucs plus 6 points. They're about a 6.5 point underdog on the road. So if you like to wager, I think that's a pretty good bet. I think at worst, even if they're losing in the game, I think the defense in Minnesota is not great. That they'll be the 6 points is plenty. All right, I'm going to pose each you guys a question before we get to the divisions. Give me the one position group on the Buccaneers team that if they really elevate their game, this team can be a contender to win the division.
Linebackers. We have to get Jack Barrett needs to come back, maybe not to his 2019-2020 self, but just come back to be at least an influence from the outside. We need Levante and Devin White. Levante not to slow down, Devin not to make so many mental mistakes. He's playing for a big, huge contract, so we need some pressure from the outside, whether it's the new guys, whether it's Tron Shinker and the rookies. To me, it's the linebackers.
And you, real quick before you go, Peter, the Buccaneers kept 6 outside linebackers on the roster, which, you know, Anthony Nelson's part of that group, Diaby, obviously Cam Gill, who's had some moments in the last couple of years, and they kept a couple of first-year guys, Marquise Watts, who, if you haven't followed him, his story, interesting story, but they kept a lot of outside linebackers, i.e. pass rushers, on the roster to help boost that pass rush. And you make a great point. If the linebackers play well, we think the secondary is going to be good. If the outside linebackers and linebacking core can help out Vita Vea, Cansey, and Logan Hall up front, I think that's a key part of this Buccaneer resurgence. Peter?
Yeah, I think it's the offensive line because everybody's looking at that. Tristan Wirfs moving from the right side to the left side. Luke Gedeke on the right side. If they can elevate their game, that makes that offense that much more better. And you're not necessarily worrying about the pressure on Baker Mayfield. So that line has an opportunity. Let's see what Tristan Wirfs can do, boys, at that left side.
Yep.
Can he do the same thing he did on the right side? And is that right side with the rookie at right guard and also Gedeke good enough? I like the offensive line at this point.
A couple other notes about the roster that just came out in the last couple of days. Sean Tucker, who made the roster as a running back, he has now supplanted Keyshawn Vaughn as the number 2 running back. So Keyshawn Vaughn is going to be the 3 right now. Sean Tucker's been elevated to number 2 behind Rashad White. We saw the burst that Sean Tucker showed in the preseason. He's very fast. I think the one thing I think the Bucs have done a great job this offseason in doing, they've increased the speed element of their roster, running back, receiver, linebackers. So I think that part of the element as far as the youth movement has been great for the Buccaneers. And what Jason Light and his staff have done is they've really found a lot of guys that now can run. And that's something the Bucs didn't have a lot of, is team speed, especially at the skill player position. I think that's going to really be a boost. So, all right. So Paul goes linebacker. Peter goes offensive line. I will go secondary because I want to set. We've paid a lot of money to that secondary. I want them to catch balls. We know they can defend balls, but now we got to catch them. When Davis and Jamel Dean get opportunities to catch the ball, you got to catch the ball. A sneaky signing, Ryan Neal at safety. He's been a really good addition. I think a lot of rave reviews with him and Antoine Winfield at safety, but catch the football when you get a chance in the Buccaneers secondary with Carlton Dean and Jamel Davis. And Idian, the undrafted kid out of Rutgers, is your nickel back. So catch the football. All right. Yeah. Let's wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up here. We're going to go through the divisions in the NFC and AFC. I just want you to give me a division winner. And I know if you got a little note about something great, but we'll talk about division winners. Let's start in the NFC East, Mr. Paul Stewart. Your favorite team in that is residing in that division, huh?
Well, hang on. The season hasn't started yet, which means the Dallas Cowboys are going to win every game, win the division, win the conference, and win the Super Bowl. And ESPN and everyone else is going to dedicate 90% of their time to talking about the Cowboys. And then the season starts, and it all goes wrong for them, and they haven't won bugger all for about 30 years. I hate the Dallas Cowboys. I think they're completely overrated, and I really hope they struggle this year. So go Philadelphia Eagles. I hope they win the division. That's my pick in the East.
Peter?
Yeah, Philadelphia is much improved on both sides of the ball. I like the Eagles and what they did in the offseason. I also like Jalen Hurts to take that next step as one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL because just got a new contract extension. He played well. I like the Eagles.
Remember, the Cowboys also, Paul Stewart, they just brought in Trey Lance, the future of the Dallas Cowboys. Potentially. No, I'm just kidding.
Please. I don't want to carry on laughing for the next 20 minutes. Let's move to another division.
I'll say Philadelphia too, but remember this. Philadelphia had a much easier schedule last year. The schedule is much more challenging for the Eagles this year, so it would not shock me if the Cowboys are right there with them. Sneaky pick could be the Giants. I mean, again, I don't expect the Giants to win 12 games. That could be but I'll lean Eagles, but the Cowboys I think will be right there for the division title. Let's go NFC West. Paul Stewart.
Okay, this is where you've got to still say San Francisco because they're that strong, they're that good. Arizona are a dumpster fire.
Yes.
The Rams have got nobody left. And Seattle, can they do it again? I think the 49ers win, and they win it quite big.
Peter?
Yeah, I agree. I go with the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy defense, semi-talented. Go with the 49ers.
I 49ers as well. Nick Bosa is still not signed yet for the Niners, so that's an issue that could affect week one. They got a tough game at Pittsburgh, but I'm with you, 49ers. NFC North. A lot of changes there. A lot of changes.
Go against the grain and be surprising. Chicago Bears. Because I think Detroit are living off this preseason hype. Green Bay, addition by subtraction in getting rid of Rodgers, who was a distraction to that team. Minnesota we're not quite sure about. I think Chicago come through and surprise everybody. That is my upset pick of the 8 divisions.
And the Bears will be in Tampa for week 2, the Bucs home opener. So you'll get a good early view of Justin Fields and company as they come to Raymond James Stadium. Peter?
Yeah, to me, that's not a surprise because I like the Chicago Bears also. Justin Fields, he could take that next step like Jalen Hurts did. You finally get him a number 1 wide receiver and a DJ Moore. You improve that defense. Question marks if they can get after the passer. But if you could protect the passer, that would be Fields with that running game. I like the Chicago Bears.
You're just picking whoever I do right now. Come on, do something different.
2 Chicago Bears picks to win the division. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to go off the edge here. I'm going to go the Green Bay Packers. I think Jordan Love's going to play better than people think, and I think they got a ton of talent on defense. I think Green Bay is going to figure. I don't think it's going to be a great record, 10-7 kind of record. I think 10-7 wins that division for the Green Bay Packers. Let's go. We'll save the Bucs division till last. So let's go to the AFC East.
Okay, this is the year I think Miami fall apart completely and the tour experiment blows up and everybody starts again. The last time the Dolphins won a Super Bowl, they were taking pictures in black and white. So I am going to go, not surprisingly, Buffalo Bills, and I take the Jets to come second over the Patriots.
Paul Stewart, for you, will Tom Brady be playing quarterback for the Dolphins by Halloween?
No, he's gone. He's finished. Go.
If Tua goes down?
I'm fed up with talking about him. Move on.
All right, Peter, go.
I like the Jets in that division with Aaron Rodgers, all the additions they made in the offseason, plus a talented defense. I think they're better than the Buffalo Bills, as crazy as that sounds. For me, Josh Allen, it's the Madden curse. I like the Jets to win that division.
I'm with you, too. I think the Jets are going to figure out a way to, again, very tough schedule early. Got a brutal schedule the first 6-7 weeks of the year. But if they can navigate that, I think the Jets have an opportunity late in the year to win that division. Let's go AFC South, a division the Buccaneers will see all 4 of these teams in the regular season.
Jacksonville, they're loaded.
Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence has proven he's a good quarterback. Doug Pederson's doing a tremendous job. And, of course, they don't have Urban Meyer. So Jacksonville are going to win that in a landslide.
Yeah, great minds think alike. I'm definitely gonna go on your coattails on this. Trevor Lawrence, one of the best young quarterbacks in the National Football League. He showed that the future is bright. I like the Jacksonville Jaguars and Doug Peterson.
This is probably the easiest one to call because you got two rookie quarterbacks starting in Indianapolis and Houston, Richardson and CJ Stroud, new coaches in both those spots. We don't know what's going on in Tennessee with Tannehill and Derrick Henry's probably the last run there. I'm with you. Jacksonville's the clear favorite there. AFC North, probably maybe the toughest division in football with all four teams legitimately could be above 500.
Yeah, let's Peter, you go first so I can copy you this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. You know, for me, head and shoulders, talent-wise, I mean, it's time for this kid to really show everybody that he is not only one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, but maybe the best quarterback in the league. Taking that from Patrick Mahomes, I like the talent there. T. Higgins, offensively, defensively, always question marks, but Cincinnati in that division for me. Pretty close.
This is a loaded division. They are four very, very good teams. I'm going to go to Pittsburgh Steelers. I trust Mike Tomlin to find a way for them to win that division. It might only be 10-7, and they all make it through as wild cards. For me, that's the Steelers.
I'm going to go Baltimore Ravens. I think the offensive firepower now that Lamar Jackson has, they've always been pretty good on defense. I think the kicking game with Justin Tucker is always elite. So close division. Again, that'll be a bloodbath of a division, but I'm going to go Baltimore Ravens in that division. All right, let's go AFC West. You got Mahomes, you got Denver, you got the Raiders, you got the Chargers with Kellen Moore working with Herbert. Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, I'm not going against the Kansas City Chiefs. I did that last year. I learned my lesson. Until somebody knocks Patrick Mahomes out and Andy Reid, it's the Chiefs' division to win. Denver, may surprise some people with Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, but I still like Kansas City.
Well, I often appear on Vegas radio on the TC Martin show. So instead of picking the team to come first, I'm going to pick the team that's going to come last, the Las Vegas Raiders. And I'm really going to enjoy my weekly appearances on that show, talking about how bad the Raiders are this year.
Worst coach in the NFL, Josh McDaniels, beyond a shadow of a doubt. He's terrible.
He's still trying to draft Tim Tebow for the Raiders, apparently.
I'm going to go outside the box here. I'm going to go LA Chargers. I think Kellen Moore with Herbert's going to be good. I think the Chris Jones holdout situation could be an issue. If he doesn't report, their defense is not very good if he's not in that defense. So depending on how long that holdout potentially lasts, I'm going, they're going to put it together this year. I think Chargers win the division. Kansas City is a wild card. All right, boys. Last division, NFC South. It's go time here. Give me a pick here in the division and give me a Buccaneer record.
Okay, well, it'd be very easy to say the Bucs are going to go 17-0, and we're talking about who's going to come second. I would be very happy if the Bucs got to 8-9 because of all the things we talked about.
Yep.
So for a division winner, I think the New Orleans Saints have just got enough talent; they're going to win that division. So, and as I said, for the Bucs, I want to be pleasantly surprised than bitterly disappointed. So I will go 8-9 and hope to be surprised above that.
Peter Blake.
The Bucs offense with Baker Mayfield is the surprise of 2023. He has the type of year that Geno Smith has. Think about the Seattle Seahawks last year. That is going to be the version of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2023. Not only is Baker Mayfield going to be a comeback story, this team is going to win 10 games, 10-7. Listen, I would say the Saints all day long. But you don't have Sean Payton there. You got Dennis Allen, 15-38. I get it, they have some talent, but they're older. Like the Bucs, 10-7 to win the NFC South. How about that, boys?
The Bucs have some tough road trips. They go to San Francisco, they go to Buffalo, they go to Minnesota. They got Philadelphia at home. Obviously, in the division games, the good thing is you have the AFC South, which is some games you can win there. I'm going to go 9-8, and I think the Buccaneers could win a tiebreaker to win the division with New Orleans. I think 9-8. The division games are going to be critical in the kind of the tiebreaker situation. So I'm going to go 9-8 for the Buccaneers, and somehow they're going to win the division on a tiebreaker.
That sounds good to me. As I said, well, it's easy to be over the top, and
sure.
You want to see your team do well. And we talk about fans. We although we're Buccaneer people with a Buccaneer interest, we're not diehard blinded fans just ignoring everything that goes around us.
Right.
And we don't want to be pessimistic Pete's, as you said earlier, Peter. So we're trying to be realistic with our expectations. And like we say, we want to be surprised and talking about Buccaneer wins. So let's go ahead. We're all ready for the season. Everybody is 0-0. This is the one time we're going to be level with the Cardinals and the Cowboys. Let's make sure we beat both of them by the end of the year.
Love it. Love it.
All right, Peter Blake, before we get out of here, promote all your good stuff you got going on and where we can find all your good work.
Yeah, Monday through Friday, Monday and Wednesday would be the sports book, but Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, the JP Peterson Show on Facebook and YouTube. And, of course, the evolution of Sports Talk Television Monday and Wednesday nights. And, of course, after a game, before the game, Bucks games, USF, we'll have you all covered. Definitely do three things. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about.
And I know, Paul Stewart, you're going to bring Peter Blake a watch in November too, right?
Yeah, I mean, that show he does with JP, they often have a really good guest over from England who talks about the Ryder Cup and the Buccaneers. So I'm very proud to be part of that. You can catch me on social media, Paul Buckpal Stewart, and on X, as used to be Twitter, buckpower.com. Every player, every game, everything Bucks.
And remember, Paul does such a great job with audio and video clips. I mean, again, he just put out a podcast with he and Randy Grimes outlining the 1985 season opener in Chicago with the venerable 46 defense. Lehman Bennett's first game as a Buccaneer head coach. I encourage you to listen to that. I definitely listened to it the other day, and good stuff. So, and for me, you can find my stuff, Powers on Sports podcast. I also do a Florida Football Insiders podcast, which is a college football centric podcast in the state of Florida. We host this podcast every single week. We're going to be previewing every Buccaneer opponent. You can find me on YouTube, Jason Powers Sports Channel. This interview will be posted on the Sports Channel, the video interview as well, and all of our other no quarter given interviews moving forward. So, Buck fans, appreciate you listening. If you haven't already done so, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button on your podcast platform. Enjoy week one at Minnesota. Remember, you can listen to the Buccaneers on the Buccaneer app. If you can't see the TV, you can listen to the feed through the Buccaneer app. If you're in the Tampa Bay market, 98 Rock with TJ, Gene, and Dave on the call. Our guy TJ Reeves will be a part of this podcast throughout the year as well. Check out him on the sidelines, our guy at Buck Sideline Guy. But Paul Stewart, appreciate the opportunity to have you on and having us renew our contract for another year of some Diet Coke and a couple chicken wings, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it sounds great to me. Looking forward to seeing you guys in person in a couple of months.
All right, Buck fans, we'll see you next week. Previewing week 2, the home opener, Chicago Bears. Enjoy week 1, Minnesota Vikings on the road, 1:00 game on Sunday. Let's go, Bucks. Off to another great year. Here we go. Talk to you next week, folks.